You're listening to Tony Milazzo with Live and Onboard podcast. And my guest today is Scott Southworth, singer, songwriter, artist, producer, label guy. Did I miss anything, Scott?
Just general eye candy.
Your wife didn't say that.
And she never will. And she never will.
All right.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you're here.
I am too. You answered my first big question was, is it Milazzo or Milazzo? But it's Milazzo.
Well, Italiano, Milazzo. It's actually a port in Sicily.
No kidding.
Guess that's where I get my boating thing from.
That's it. I've just always wondered that. You know, I have this idea that, like, do you know Troy Castellano?
Sounds familiar. I know a lot of Castellanos.
I just have this image of all of the Castellanos and the Milazzos hanging out in the basement of some restaurant, making their songwriting plans and deciding, who's not pitching correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Watch yourself out there.
Watch yourself. Thank you for having me, man. And
thank you for being here.
Just want to say I'm happy that you're part of the Nashville community now. It's good to have you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Very receptive here. Everybody is very friendly, and I'm just having a great time of it here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's the whole point, because nobody's making any money at this, so you better be having a good time.
That's right. Music is free.
That's right. We are now a commodity.
That's right. So is this podcast, by the way.
Hey, congrats.
Everything's free these days. What a world. Land of the free we live in here. Come on, everybody come here. Everything's free.
Y'all come.
That's right. So, music.
I've heard of it.
I hear I have great timing.
Yes.
You're doing something.
Timing.
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I hear it's very timely.
Oh,
You've got things
to
promote and talk about. We should probably hit that up right here, right on the
You want to
beginning.
just go straight to the plugs. Okay.
Yeah, straight. Right. Let's go for it. Tell the audience what you're doing and where they could find you and what's coming out, what's new, what's old.
You got it. Let's see.
Bring it.
First off, you find me scottsouthworth.com, SOUTHWORTH. Facebook is Scott Southworth Music. Twitter or X and Instagram is Say Howdy Scott. And on Tinder, I'm at Tony Milazzo. That's where you find me on the Tinders.
You're going to get me in trouble.
Well, maybe. Not if they see me. Don't worry. No one will be swiping. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You're all right. But no, so that's how you find me. I have a new single that is just coming out called Farmer Dude, which is it's a true story, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, I used to. I walk my dog at the state park down by where I live, and for years there was this guy there that had this beast of a dog, and the dog had one crumpled up eye, one shriveled up eye, and he was like he wasn't on a leash, he was on a rope, Tony. Just this big beast of a one-eyed dog, and he'd always try to lunge for my dog. And the fellow would always say, "Oh, that's just Vinny. Vinny just wants to play." And
notice Vinny. Hey, Vinny,
yeah, Vinny,
one-eyed dog.
One-eyed dog named Vinny. So I'd be walking around the park, and I'm, walking at a pretty good clip, and while I'm walking, I'm going, he's got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny. As to match my steps, he's got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny. And after a while, I figured I'd just write the song. So everything about the guy was made up, but 100% about the dog is true in that song. Oh. So anyway, that just came out as a single, and then I'm putting out a 17-song live album on April 10th that I'm happy to chat with you about as well, because that's been a crazy adventure. So that's what's going on, and it was really nice talking to you. Thanks for having me, and
all right, take care, Scott.
We'll do this again soon. Yeah. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Nice to see you.
That's right. Everybody left already, though.
I know. Well,
they thought it was over.
That's all right. The crowd went mild and left. So what's shaking with you? What are we talking about?
We're talking about songwriting. We're talking about music. But you know what? I want to talk about where did it all start for you, Scott? How did you even? I mean, did you come out of the womb playing guitar and singing songs? Or?
I did come out of the womb, yes. So I hear.
That's it?
At a very early age. But no, I did not have a guitar. I think that's medically impossible. At least for my mom, it was. So, jeez, I hope she never sees this.
She's going to. We're going to send it to her.
Oh, good. No, man. I just grew up. My mom sang all the time. My father played guitar and sang, but I didn't know him very well until my 20s. But one of the things, it's kind of ironic. One of the things that he left for me when he and my mother separated was Johnny Cash's Live in San Quentin, which, of course, had a boy named Sue. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3. Didn't leave a lot for my mama and me, just this record.
Ironic.
It is ironic.
Wow.
So I grew up with music around me. On my mom's side, her brothers, 3 of them played guitar. And so my first real musical memories were them playing guitar, and especially my uncle Rudy and my uncle Dave, who were both big folkies, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, John Denver, James Taylor. So that's kind of the stuff that I grew up listening to as far as live, and then I finally picked up the guitar around 17 years old, when I realized that I'd never be a tall athlete and I'd never know how to dance. So I picked up a guitar, and my uncles taught me some chords, and that's kind of how it all began. I started writing songs immediately after I got a few, probably 4 or 5 chords under my belt.
Yeah, that's all you need.
And then I never knew what they were. I had a sock drawer full of these pieces of paper, because I started joining bands, but they were rock bands. My first band was a classic rock band, so we're doing
Covers. Right?
Come on over, baby, whole lot of shaking going on.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing that stuff, and then I had a blues band.
I love the blues.
That lived for 1.5 gigs.
Yeah.
We survived, and then after that, I was in a top 40 rock band, and was doing hair band stuff, and another with some other traveling groups whenever they'd come into town. So,
did you have the hair and the hairband?
oh yeah,
I want to see pictures of that.
It was down to the small of my back, and all one length. It was magnificent, man. But before that, I had a magnificent mullet. That was that was back in the day. But anyways, I'd take these bands, the songs, and they'd go, "That's good, but I don't know what that is. It's not us. It doesn't fit us." And it wasn't until I was in my late 30s when I found out I'd been writing country songs for 12 years and had no idea. 15 years, had no idea. So there.
And that's how you found yourself?
It is. I was down in San Diego and had seen an ad for a country band looking for a singer, rhythm guitar player, and I said, well, that's the one genre I've not done. So I popped in, and they hired me, and then one day while they were all having a smoke, I was fiddling around with an old song, and they said, "What is that?" I said, "I don't know." And next thing I know, they're doing a bunch of my originals, and there you go. But yeah, so that really did find myself, I guess.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And look at you now.
Look at me now. I'll tell you, if you want to hear a funny story, I think, about being young and in music. I was in that classic rock band. I had the mullet. I was, I don't like to brag, but I was playing once or twice a month at the Red Lion Inn in Eugene, Oregon. Mm-hmm. I was kind of a big deal, kind of a rock star in my own mind. And I had zero money. And so this girl I was dating, for Christmas, I made her a little cassette tape of songs that I'd written. And my band wanted copies of it, so I made copies of it. You remember making the cassette tape copies? So I made them copies. And
dating ourselves.
Yeah. I spent most of my life dating myself. But
Been there too.
I made these tapes, and then one of them, their mom heard it, and it got to somebody, and I get a phone call and says, "Hey, this guy wants to meet with you." And I'm 20 years old, maybe 20. Yeah, I don't think I was 21 yet. And I said, "Why?" And he heard your tape and he wants to talk to you. And I said, "Okay." So I called this guy up. His name was Mickey. And I said, "All right." I called Mickey and he said, "Yeah, come to my house." I said, "Okay." So he gives me the directions. He lives on the McKenzie River, which is really the high rent district, beautiful homes. And I go there, and sure enough, it's this gorgeous, gorgeous home. And it's 2 p.m, and he's in red silk pajamas. And he's got a little kid riding one of those. Remember the big wheels when we were kids?
Oh, yeah.
He's riding the big wheel on the property, and his wife's just a smoke show. And he's old, To me, at 20 years old, he's probably younger than I am now. But at the time, I was saying, what is this old guy doing in red pajamas at 2 p.m? So we talked for a while, and he said, "Hey, those songs they're not bad. They're rough, but you need to go to Nashville, and I'll help you. I'll introduce you to some people." And, and I looked at him, and I'm thinking, this old guy in pajamas has no idea what he's talking about. I'm a rock star. I play the Red Lion. What does he mean, country? He doesn't know what he's talking about, country. I'm not going to Nashville.
He had vision.
So I said, "Thank you very much," and I walked away. And never thought of it again. And then years later, I joined that band in San Diego. And that was the first year I watched the CMA Awards. And the CMA Awards always has that in memoriam, where who died that year.
Yeah.
This guy's face pops up, and I go, "I know that guy." And it was Mickey Newberry, who wrote a bunch of hit songs, and he lived in Oregon. When he left Tennessee, he went to Oregon, and the whole place started cheering when Mickey's face popped up. And now I have the internet, so now I look up Mickey Newberry, and I see who he is, and I'm like, oh my God, 20-year-old me was about as dumb as they come, because that was what an opportunity that could have been.
Yeah.
So fast forward a couple more years, I moved to Nashville. I don't know a soul. So when I move here, I send an email to all 3 of my friends and say, if you know anybody that lives in Nashville, I don't care who they are, if they're a janitor, I'm moving my whole family. I'd like to just start making friends and meeting people.
Yeah.
And so one of my friends said, yeah, I got this friend of mine, and she introduces me, email introduction, and the guy says, like you said, everybody's so nice around here. He said, yeah, man, come on, we'll have breakfast. So we went and had breakfast, and he used to live in Oregon. So I grew up in Springfield, Oregon, which is right next to Eugene, Oregon, which is where the U of O is. Springfield is kind of where Eugene makes fun of, okay? Well, this guy was from Elmira. Elmira was who Springfield made fun of. It's just, even a smaller little town. So I'm talking to this guy, and he's had Kelly Pickler hits and George Strait cuts, and
wow,
he's had this great career. And so we're having breakfast, and I said, I got to ask you, no, and don't take offense by this, but how does Elmira get to Nashville? And he said, well, you know who Mickey Newberry is, right?
Wow.
And he proceeds to tell me the exact same story I just told you.
Oh, my God.
With the exception of when he said, you need to go to Nashville, I'll introduce you to people and I'll help you out. He said, okay, I'll go. And so that's...
full circle moment.
Kids, let me tell you a lesson. When you're super hot and hip and full of yourself, listen to the old farts that are trying to give you a little something, because, now, do I regret it? Had I come here in that age, I would have drunk myself silly and gone home penniless and, probably with a kid or two that I didn't know, and I would have
I'd
made
be
a lot
dead.
of. I made a lot of poor decisions. I would have made a lot of poor decisions, and so instead, I got to meet my wife and marry her and have a family. So when we moved here, I was in a whole different place mentally. So it all happened the way it was supposed to. But
Did you ever get in touch with Mickey?
No, he had died. He was in that in memoriam.
Right. Oh,
he had
okay.
passed away
Right.
that year.
Oh, God.
So now that little kid riding the big wheel, he lives down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. He's always part of the Frank Brown Festival. His name's Chris Newberry, and he's a wonderful singer-songwriter and a publisher. He owns all of his dad's publishing and is working it.
Yeah.
But matter of fact, I was watching your Bobby Keel episode, and he talked about Mickey Newberry, and he sang a bit of "Sweet Memories," and American Trilogy, the Elvis song.
Yeah.
That was Mickey Newberry. So just an amazing writer and beautiful voice. So I regret that I didn't at least take the time to be mentored by him a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everything's for a reason, though.
everything's for a reason, but one of the things that I see here when the kids come to town, and I'm sure Mark Allen Barnett said something similar, when you first come to town, just go listen, go learn before you walk in and try to be the cock of the block,
Right.
But it's tough when I was that age, I was so full of myself, it stunk. And I think about it now, and it's embarrassing how much I didn't know, but how much I thought I had it together.
Yeah.
So,
But it's all what gets you right here, right now.
to be here with Tony. This
Well, I
is
didn't
it.
exactly mean right here, right here.
God
right
bless the broken road that brought me straight to Tony.
now. All right. So I'm going to jump. Can I jump?
I don't know.
No,
Good
not
for
that
you.
kind of jump.
I can barely stand up.
No, I'm not going to jump that kind of jump. But I wanted to talk about, because I was looking at something online, and your European career.
Yeah.
European?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Okay.
Not now, though.
Tell us about your European.
Well, it depends.
What are you doing over there? That's what I want to know. What are you doing over in Europe
What am
that
I
they love
doing?
you so much? I mean, I love you, but
That was a surprise. So I put out an album in 2016. And you know how it is. You've been here. You've been recording demos, right?
yeah.
So every now and then when I'd have 11 or 12 demos, I'd put out a CD.
Right.
It was a mishmash because you're trying to write for radio, right?
Yep.
And so your stuff's going in a lot of different directions because you're trying to find that whatever it is that's going to click with the publishers.
Yeah. Something popular, friendly.
Yeah, so the CDs that I was putting out were real mishmashes of all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
But every year, so I moved here in 2004, and this was 2016 when this album came out.
Yeah.
So every year, I would take one song out of my budget, my demo budget, and record something that I wanted to hear. Something that was real traditional country and the stuff that nobody at that time wanted. No publisher wanted that at the time. But so I'd use one song budget for that. And by 2015, I had a whole album of those songs. And I'd been putting out mishmashes of CDs, and I don't mean to brag, Tony, but some of them sold upwards of 8-9 copies.
Wow.
Yeah. So I
can
went ahead
only
and
dream about something like that.
right. Who doesn't? And my mom had 5 of them. But I
Imagine what they're worth now that she has 5 out of the only 9.
ping me on that because I got a funny story for you about that. But put a pin in that.
Okay.
But anyways, I put this album out in 2016 and in August, and I'm going to back up a little bit, okay? Sorry about that.
Sure.
But in June
Don't knock anything over.
I won't. In June, I played a couple of shows in Texas for the first time, and they were disasters. The gigs weren't what they were described as. It was a long-ass drive. I ended up in the hospital for a few minutes. I ended up with a flat tire. I have my 15-year-old daughter with me, and it was just, if anything could have gone wrong on that trip, it did.
Everything we dream about.
And I'm on my way home, and there's a lot of Texas to drive through, and there's whole portions. There's miles and miles of Texas where your choices on the radio are Mexican music or preachers. Okay, so I chose preachers because I'd had my fill of the Mexican music, which I love. But I'm listening to this preacher, and he says, and I quote, "God wants to give you what you want, but you got to say it. Put it words out. Tell the Lord to what you want." So my daughter's sleeping, and I'm driving, and I said, "All right, God, I want a top 25 radio charting single by the end of the year." And I put those words out in June. August, I released this album on a Monday. Okay?
Yeah.
I go to bed, I wake up on Tuesday, and I have an email from Spain, from a DJ in Spain that says, "I love this CD. I'm putting it on heavy rotation." And I wrote back, "Thank you. Gracias." And I tell my wife, and she goes, "Huh." And then I go to work, because, I work a day job, and I get home, have dinner, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and there's an email from France. And it says, "I'm making this my beautiful music discovery of the month." And I said, "Thank you." And my wife goes, "Huh." And the same thing happens. The next day I wake up, and it's an email from Country Music People magazine out of the UK. And they said, we're going to review your CD in next month's issue." And I said, "Okay, thanks." I tell my wife, and she's like, "What's going on?" I said, "I don't know." But every day there was an email from somebody, some other DJ, some other music blog, some other this or that. So that was the first part of August. At the end of August was the Smoky Mountain Songwriters Festival. So I drive there. I get in my hotel, and it's still the work day, so I click on my laptop, and I'm going through some emails, and there's a copy of this magazine. So I'm looking at it, and I go to the reviews, and the first several reviews, now this is British. Do you like British comedy?
Yeah, I'm a big Monty Python fan.
Yeah, there's some snark there, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I love that kind of that kind of humor. Well, I'm reading these reviews of established radio hit artists that are out there at that time. Your Florida Georgia Lines and stuff, and these reviews are just eviscerating them, and just really snarky and just cutting them to shreds. And so I'm turning the pages, and I'm flinching, like waiting to see what horrible thing they're going to say about me. And each page has like 4 reviews lined up vertically, and I get to my page, and it's 2 pages with a great big picture of me, and it's 5 stars, honky tonker of the month. It's this beautiful review.
Good for you.
At the time, I had some, I was doing my own radio show, as you know, and I called up some artist manager friends of mine and said, "Is this real? Is this like legitimate?" And they go, "Yeah, we're constantly trying to get our artists featured on this magazine." So it's a big deal. And I go home and I tell my wife, and she's like, "Huh, what's that mean?" I go, "I don't know." But that's kind of what happened. It turns out that in pockets of Europe, there are places that really want to hear that old, traditional honky-tonk sound. And the fact that these were all new songs, new original songs with that type of sensibility, recording and instrument-wise, it just really took off. And in December of 2016, Whiskey Bottle, which was my first single, made it to number 23 on the Irish and UK country charts.
Wow.
So going back to when I was driving through Texas, and he said, tell the Lord what you want. And I had said, I want a top 25 hit by the end of the year. Now, what I meant was, I want someone to record one of my songs. I want Toby Keith or somebody to record one of my songs and get it on the radio.
Yeah.
But God has a sense of humor, and I just looked up. I said, I see what you did. I get it.
He made you an artist.
He gave me what I asked for.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, during that story, you told me to pin something.
Did you remember? Because I didn't.
Something.
I said
you
asked how much those CDs
and the
are worth.
CDs and the 5 she had.
Yeah. So I see my CDs, and a couple of them are out of print now, but I still have a few copies. But every now and then, once I started having this traction in Europe, somebody gave me some wonderful advice, which was start Googling yourself every week or two. Yeah. And I thought that was the most conceited thing you could ever do, but I started doing it, and I found all sorts of things.
You need to know what's out there.
I found a bunch of reviews, and I found out that I'd been nominated for awards that I had no idea of. And the other thing I found out a few years into it is that eBay was selling some of my CDs for like $60 to $80.
Wow.
And I'm thinking,
that was your mother. That was your mom selling them.
That was my mom. Probably was. No, but it's like, wow. Y'all, I'm still alive. Just come to my website. I'll sell you a CD for, $15. You don't have to spend that kind of money.
You going to leave me a few?
Huh?
How many are you going to leave me?
I'm leaving you 2. I'm leaving
That's
you
it?
a couple of them.
How am I going to sell them on eBay?
There you go. Go ahead.
Are you going to autograph
I'm not letting
them?
you have the king cake I'm bringing you, though. Just for that, I'm going to eat your king cake.
Mardi Gras king cake this guy brought.
'Tis the season, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
So that's the story. That was the pin there.
That was great. Also, I want to mention the Bluebird, because I've seen you often.
Yeah.
At the legendary, famous Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal. I haven't played it, and everybody knows who the hell I am.
You will. Have you auditioned?
No.
Well, see, that's step one.
Yeah.
That's step one. It's funny. I always felt like it was a big deal, but going to Europe, that's the first question people ask me. You go to Ireland, so have you played the Bluebird now, have you? Yeah. Well then, okay. Then they're interested in you. But yeah, wherever you go, they want to know about the Bluebird Cafe. But okay, so I'll tell you how I got in, but I think it's changed a little bit, but some parts have and some part haven't. But step one is audition.
Yep.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, that's step two. Step one is get a chance to audition. Right. Nowadays, you go on their website, they have a day where you can type in your information and they'll get you an audition, right? Mm-hmm. Well, back in my day, Tony, you had to call on a Monday between 9 and 11 in the morning,
right,
to get a spot in the audition. Mm-hmm. So the first time I heard it, I called from 9 to 11. I called. Busy signal.
Yep. And
that's only once a quarter. So then you got to put on your calendar 3 months from then to start calling from 9 to 11. So I did it again. Mm-hmm. Busy signal for 2 full hours.
Yep. I've heard these stories.
3 months later, got back in, and at 10:45, they answered the phone. Whoa. And I said, oh, my God, thank God, thank you. My name's Scott Southworth. I want to be in the audition. They go, we're full.
Why'd you answer?
Right. Just for that. And so a full year later, I have 4 people calling. We're in cubicles. We're all at work, and we're sitting there just calling the Bluebird, And all of a sudden, one of them goes, "Scott, come here, come here." The phone rang, and I got my audition.
Beautiful.
And the audition was 3 weeks from now on a Sunday morning. You're going to be there with 60 other people. And so there's a big line of everybody. Do you know all this? Do you know about this? Some
of it.
Well,
kinda.
maybe your listeners, maybe some of them don't.
Yeah. I've heard some of the stories before.
Yeah, so then you get there and you get in there and everybody sits down and everybody has their guitars.
Yep.
And
in the round.
And they say, "All right, you're going to get up and you're going to do a verse and a chorus, and that's it." So now you got to decide what you're going to do.
Right.
Just a verse and a chorus. And then you have to stay for the whole thing.
Yep.
And then you leave, and a few weeks later, you get a letter saying either, "Congratulations, you've been accepted to start doing the Sunday night writer shows," or you get, "Sorry, we did not choose you this time. Come on back some other time."
Right.
So I got the good letter, and so then you got to do these writers' nights on Sundays, and you get 2 a year. Once every 6 months, they book you for, and you get 2 or 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire staff, the door people, the bartender, the wait staff, they're all judging your performance and writing it on a sheet. And if you get to do it for 3 years, twice a year for 3 years, and if you get positive reviews twice a year for 3 years, then you can start doing your own rounds. Yeah. So it takes years.
Yeah.
For most of us.
Yeah. Well, it should, though.
Yeah, yeah. But so it's always funny when someone calls me from out of town and says, "Hey, can you get me on a Bluebird round with you?" No, I cannot.
Yeah.
You gotta at the very least, you gotta audition.
Yeah.
You gotta audition. Now I've brought several people in that played their first time at the Bluebird, but
wait till you're asked, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but and the other thing is show that you're trying to make it happen too. That
be worthy.
Just show that you got the hustle and you're grinding for it.
Hard working.
So that's and the other thing, and you've probably heard this before, in that that writer's audition with 60 of us. Of those 60 auditions, probably 56 of them were ballads.
Yeah.
Slow
whiny
ballads, a verse and a chorus of a slow ballad,
Yeah.
because you're thinking, here I am at the Mother Church of Songwriting. I need to be as songwriting as possible. And you pull out your most deep, meaningful thing to you.
Yeah.
But if there's 58 of those deep, meaningful things, they get lost in the shuffle.
Got to stand out.
So I did a fast, goofy song, verse and a chorus of a fast, goofy song, just because I was sitting there going, how is anybody staying awake here? It's not that they weren't good songs, but it was just one after another after another. So on this fly, I said, okay, I'm gonna do this goofy thing and just see what happens. So that's there. That's the Bluebird story. So it is something I never take for granted. And I'm thrilled that I get to do rounds. And then I also have certain people that I ask to do the rounds with me because they also are doing rounds.
Right.
And so then they invite you to theirs, so then it lets you double up and triple up how many actual shows you do in a year.
Yeah, that's great.
So there's the mentality and the story.
That's great. You going to play some songs now for us? You ready?
I guess.
What are you going to play for us today?
Well, I was going to do it. Are we doing that later, or you want me to do it now? Or
yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
We're ready. I think our time, do you believe it's almost an hour already yet?
Yeah, I talk a lot. I'm sorry.
I had a lot of fun, but it just means I'm going to have you back.
Then yes,
right?
I would love
you'll come back
to play some songs for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll come back, and yes, you'll play songs.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful,
We got to get you guys back to a bonfire.
Oh, that was a lot of fun, Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, we got invited to Scott's house for a bonfire guitar pull in front of the fire.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of great songwriters there.
Yeah.
kind of makes me. I kind of clammed up a little bit. I was like, wow.
Listen,
is it my turn?
Never climb up,
no.
Tony. Never climb up there. One of the first people that was a big mentor of mine when I moved to town, his name was Danny Petratus.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. But he took me out to lunch, and he said, okay, I'm going to give you some advice. I said, okay. And he goes, be ready.
Yeah.
Always be ready.
Yeah.
And if the opportunity arises, do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, number 2, never ask anybody for anything. Don't ask them to take your CD.
Yeah.
Let them ask for it. And then if they do, be ready. So that's something I share with everybody is if there's an opportunity to sing, it doesn't matter if you're scared to death or if there's people that are like you know, if I'm sitting there and Marty Stewart's across from me or something, I'm still going to play a song. Yeah. Be ready. You never know.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah. Nobody likes a wussy. Get up and sing.
Show them your goods.
Yeah, or show them your bads. Whatever. Just show them.
All right. Well, we're ready for you. Play some music for the audience.
Okay.
Scott Southworth.
All right. Well, let's just start with that first song that did so well for me overseas, Whiskey Bottle, and the thing that I would like to share, and Tony and I were talking about this before the show, is find your ears, because I'm happy to share anything I did that helped me get some traction over there. But the key was I found people that wanted to hear my style of music. If you try to follow my exact steps and you do a whole different style of music, you're not gonna get that traction for yourself. But there are your ears, and so find a way to figure out where your ears are and focus on that area. I'd love to go to Greece, but I've not found any country music hotbeds in Greece, so I don't spend any time over there. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't like to. So sometimes you got to, temper your wants and your realities and find those places. But this is what did well for me in Ireland and the UK. It's called Whiskey Bottle. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. You and me can drink that woman off my mind. 80 proof is all I need to drown her memory. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. Well, she's everywhere I look, in all these rooms that we once shared. She worked so hard to make this house our home. But I took sweet love for granted, never showed her how I cared. So tonight again it's me drinking alone. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. You and me can drink that woman off my mind. 80 proof is all I need to drown her memory. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. Well, I've got other friends and family, they keep calling on the phone. They're worried and they're wondering how I've been. Well, them calls all go unheard. I just want to talk about her, and that would only break my heart again. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. Yeah. You and me can drink that woman off my mind. 80 proof is all I need to drown her memory. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend and tonight, da 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 da. Whiskey bottle, you're my only friend tonight. I'm going to do this one. This is a single that I put out in 2025 called When Leona Sings. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a woman named Leona Williams, but Leona Williams wrote hits for Loretta Lynn, for Tammy Wynette, for Merle Haggard. She wrote a hit for George Jones, and it was a duet, and she sang it with him, and he ended up being George Jones's duet partner out on the road, and ended up getting married to Merle Haggard. She was one of his wives. Matter of fact, the song allegedly, the song "You're My Favorite Memory of All" was written for Leona. So I just named all those legends that she wrote songs for and performed with. She's 83 years old, and she's still out playing in honky-tonks today. She is still out there on the road and still writing songs. And I just hold her in great admiration. So here's a song I wrote for her, and she liked it so much that I got her to come in the studio and sing a little bit of the very end with me. Every note, every word, you just know when you've heard the queen of the dance hall stage. She's lived a life on the road with Haggard and Jones, and wrote of the wilder ways. When Leona sings, someday when things are good, she shows my pain in her honky-tonk truth. I don't take her for granted. She gives my heart wings when Leona sings. Yes, ma'am, I found her in a honky-tonk, and she's right where I need her when the jukebox comes on and Leona sings. Someday when things are good, she shows my pain in her honky-tonk truth. I don't take her for granted. She gives my heart wings when Leona sings. Da-da, I don't take her for granted. She gives my heart wings when Leona, when Leona, when Leona sings. Da-da-da, la-da-da, la-da-da-da-da, da-da, la-da. The single that just came out is a song called Farmer Dude, and based on a true story of the dog, not the person. I made everything up about the dog's owner, but there was truly a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny, and he would be at the park when I was walking my dog at the park, and so I wanted to write about him. And I'm going to play it the way I wrote it, but it's not how I recorded it. And I'll give you a little bit. I recorded it like a Dr. John Little Feat, New Orleans-y kind of Creole beat, but that's like a kind of a little jazzy. So the recording is going to be more like, you got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny, lives in a single wide off the grid, and he ain't paid a lick of taxes since '95. So that's how the recording is going to come out. But when I wrote it, it was much more of a almost bluegrassy. And the live album that's coming out on April 10th has this version with one of your previous guests, Robin Ruddy, playing banjo. And it goes like this. Again, just picture me walking around the park going, he's got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny. He's got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny. And then the rest of the song just kind of came out. Got a mean old one-eyed dog named Vinny, lives in a single wide off the grid, and he ain't paid a lick of tax since '95. He's a city-born country-fried Renaissance man. He lives off his wits and works on the land, and he growed the best damn weed that I ever tried. Fires up smooth, blows out clean. Get you higher than a Chickamauga pine, and you won't stink. Old farmer dude's got what you need for your rheumatoid arthritis, glaucoma, plantar fasciitis, or anxiety. Well, now that Puffy growed is the stuff of legend. Everybody like I know, but he ain't telling secret of raising that magical mystical leaf. At least a couple times a week, stupid kids from town try to sneak in the forest and find where it's growing, but they come out squalling with their ass full of in his teeth. Cause that old dog's getting older and he's half blind, but his teeth are like a razor and a sniffer's fine, and he can lock in faster than a guinea on a backyard tick. There ain't no beware a dog or trespassing sign just to make my day, kids. Come on and try, sharp it on cardboard and hammer it on a hickory stick. Fires up smooth, blows out clean. Get you higher than a Chickamauga pine and you won't stink. Old farmer dude's got what you need for your rheumatoid arthritis, glaucoma, plantar fasciitis, or anxiety. So y'all don't you go sneaking in the forest. It's easy to bite. Hell, the Marshall County sheriffs are his biggest client. They park at his roadside stand just to get their stash. He sells maters and okra and whatever's seasonal. Just tell him that you're looking for something medicinal. He'll hook you up with a credit card, PayPal, Venmo, or 10% discount for cash. Hey, ow. I'm going to play you a song that I've never played for any podcast or radio show because it's coming out in, I'm filming a music video with the artist in April, and I'm not sure when he's going to release it, but it's a fella named Fish Fisher, and he's a wild individual. And I took him this song idea, and he loved it. And so we wrote it, and then he asked if I'd want to do it as a duet, and I said sure. And so we're going to make a video, but it's on his project. So as for when he releases it, I have no idea. I'm probably going to get it wrong here, but we're amongst friends, right? So this is the idea of this song is, you know how people wear those bracelets that say WWJD, what would Jesus do? And saying, you know, I need to be thinking that I'm try to be more like Jesus, which is a wonderful thing to try to do. But we're songwriters, and so you always have that, you always take something and twist it, right? So I'm thinking, well, let's just say, and for all of you theologians out there, I know this isn't how it works. It's a song, relax. But the idea that I had for the song was, if Jesus died for all my sins, and I spend my whole time on earth trying to be like him and I hardly ever sin, then all that work he did was for nothing. So isn't it being more of an honor to have a bunch of sins so he feels like, it was worth his while to go through all that trouble? Again, I know that's not how this works out, people, so don't get mad at me. It's a song, and so this is called Book of Sin. I do believe what I read in the Bible. It says you died for my sins, thank you, Lord. And I think the key to my heavenly revival is walking in with a book of sin worth dying for. Hey, well, I live it up down here, smoking, drinking beer, hellhounds ripping on my heels at every mile. And I hate to think the pain you endured was all in vain. Least I can do is make it worth your while. And I do believe what I read in the Bible. Says you died for my sins, thank you, Lord. I think the key to my heavenly revival is walking in with a book of sin worth dying for. Through you I am redeemed, your sacrifice has set me free. In this world of sin and vice, I'm forgiven. So when they lay me in my plot, I'm gonna give it all I've got. Drowning in cheap whiskey, weed, and women. I do believe what I read in the Bible. Says you died for my sins, thank you, Lord. And I think the key to my heavenly revival is walking in with a book of sin worth dying for. Let's see, the next verse goes like this. I tried so hard to be good, just like the commandments say I should, but the devil's always trying to persuade me. So when I go and have my fun, yeah, I'll let that demon run. When they nailed you to the cross, you up and saved me. I believe what I read in the Bible. Says you died for my sins, thank you, Lord. I think the key to my heavenly revival is walking in with a book of sin worth dying for. Well, I'll have plenty to repent in that holy roller tent. And when I cross that river Jordan, you'll know the price you paid was spent. Modulation, everybody. Woo! I do believe what I read in the Bible. Says you died for my sins, thank you, Lord. And I think the key to my heavenly revival is walking in with a book of sin worth dying for. Oh no! Live and on board with Tony Milazzo, the sweet sounds.
You've been listening to the Live and On Board podcast with your host, Tony Milazzo. Join our Facebook group, Live and On Board Podcast. Subscribe to the Live and On Board podcast on YouTube. You can email us at liveandonboardpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at Tony Milazzo Live. Thanks for listening and share this with a friend.